Rise and shine. I'm out here for balcony time. I'm in Eskişehir still, in Turkey. I'm gonna have to stay by the window here so I keep a connection. My friends, and today I finally realized why we do drugs. Last night we were at the bar, nothing in particularly different, but I started feeling like extremely lonely. Like I wanted to talk to girls, kind of talked to one, and she smiled and walked off. But since I'm in Turkey and all the girls speak Turkish, and they get really shy and afraid, and uh, I wasn't getting laid. And what really dawned on me is I started to, thanks to Google Photos or just talking about, like I talked about yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I talked about my friend suffering from losing his wife. Um, I realized that I'm obsessing about the loss of life. And it fucks with me. You know, I probably shouldn't watch the abortion channels. And only a 10-week-year-old baby is developed, and how they pull it apart when my baby was 26 weeks, 24 weeks, 22 weeks. I'm not quite sure. Um, that a life was destroyed, and my life was destroyed. And so I started to study about trauma. I started to study about how the human brain ruminates, and I've ran out of weed, so there's no escaping it. This is going to be just. And without the mota, I didn't have my depression receptors numbed. They started to engage me. I'm sitting at the bar. I'm having a good time. My friends having a beer. It's a great scene. DJs, girls, everybody, everything's going around. And we got in about what went wrong. And it's not something that you could tell someone. And I don't know if anybody was looking, but I started to cry. And even now, I'm starting to cry. Thanks, guy. That I'm not as tall or as confident or as rich as I'd like to be. I do try to cover up things. I am a travel addict. I've been a drug. Happiness addiction tends to evade me. It doesn't seem to work in my brain. So I'm listening to one of these podcasts, and one of the guys was talking about psilocybin and how it breaks that cycle of rumination, where we sit there and we tell ourselves over and over again what went wrong, how we're wrong, how we're not right, maybe through our parents' eyes. Maybe we were abandoned as a kid. Maybe we were felt to not feel worthy enough. Maybe we were abused. And then you see the cycle start to happen. And as in any human, you're going to have emotions. And part of that really sunk in on me, that that's what you're going to do. These powerful feelings in our mind are going to look for an escape mechanism, a coping mechanism, a way to not feel the way that we're feeling. So you don't want to feel lonely, start drinking. Yes, that's a drug too. And I'm looking at all these people pound the cigarettes, pound the drinking, and it wasn't for me. You know, I went and got some food, and they were serving just pizzas and hamburgers at this joint anyway. But I wanted some real food, and I found some real food, and I was looking for some real happiness, and that seems to be tough for me. For me, before I lost my child, it seemed easier, but I think I've always suffered from depression. I think I inherited it from my mom, and my mom from my grandpa. Lord knows how my dad deals with it. He was an alcoholic, stone cold for a long time. And even now that he's sober, he still doesn't call me, still hasn't helped me, still no bonding. And I never felt that I was enough, so I always try to do more. And and I wanted more out of my life. It wasn't that I didn't think that I was enough. I felt like I was great, but at the same time, shortcomings for a father that demanded perfection, the best head of the rest. You know, if you didn't jump to that level, my brother never drank, never smoked, self-made millionaire, owns his own business. It seems like a pretty level-headed guy. Where my head didn't want to stay level. I'd get extreme. I had tried suicide multiple times. Even when I was a kid, like my first try was like 8 years old. I'm like, what if I don't want to live anymore? And then I try to suffocate myself in the pillow. That's really weird. And for me to jump off Hoover Dam waterside when the water was way up, I was so emotional. And when my emotions start taking control over me, I look for the door. And the escape route was drugs. If I don't want to feel like I want to feel, man, I would drink so fast. I would find some way to escape, and that's what I see in us as people. They use it against us. They're like, "So what's an escape? Watching YouTube. What's an escape? Playing on my phone. What's another escape? Masturbation. What's another escape? Uh, 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 uh. I used to be a big daydreamer, like as if my mind could be happy somewhere else than where it was. And to not be able to stop myself from feeling the way that I did or does, I feel the way that I does, and they say that, we're creating in our minds more torture than actually exists, that the war is only between our ears and not in reality. But in reality, I see people, especially at the bars, fully packed, feeling insecure, so they swallow liquid courage. They numb themselves from the loss that everybody experiences. I don't believe that there's any person on this planet that hasn't walked around without loss, but we see a lot of smiley faces. We don't hold it, but we hide it. And what's really weird, and I heard that from David Goggins, is like, don't compare your life to fucked up people. They're as fucked up as you are. They might hide it better than you do, but they're as fucked up as you are. And that's one of the things that I think if we all had the solution, if it was church, we'd all go. If it was blueberries, we'd all eat them. If there was a way that you could swallow something, snort something, inject something, breathe something, huff something, you would do it. We do it. We do it all the time. We find a way to alleviate the pain of shortcomings, missing out, loss, feelings, and they play us to a T like that. That's why addiction's so powerful, because you will look for a thing to escape, and then you'll look for it every time. Last night I was grateful that I didn't drink, and I'm not about to. I was like, yeah, it's time to party. My buddy only has the day off, and I said we would party. And in my head, I was crying, and in my heart, I was crying, and in my eyes, I was crying. It's tough for me to think of the reality that I live in a reality as I'd like. I don't um, get to maintain the happiness like I'd like. And I know there's a lot of shows that would like to motivate you and go, yeah, I'm so happy. Just go outside and do 100 push-ups, 100-mile hike, and do everything 100 times, and you'll be just fine. I've already worked out. Your boy's solid, bro. I can feel it in my muscles. If I suck it in, super fit. I don't have to suck it in, but I can. And that's what we're doing. We're sucking it in. We're pretending. We'll buy something. We don't know why we're buying it, but we're pretending like we don't want that person to call us back, or that we're not lonely, or that all we want is love and kisses. Listen to my friend Ari, that's exactly what was happening. Of all the things that he had, the trappings of life, the house, the children, the money, and yet all he wants is his wife back. It's the relationships. I study these things. They were talking about trust and how I always lost trust because people broke trust with me and my family, and even now, me and my family don't even talk. My mom just came back from a family event, and everybody started acting up again. It's like we're not on each other's side. We can almost expect some sort of rift in it, and isn't it something that the closest people to us can hurt us? Isn't it something that something in our life could be lost? Isn't it something that this isn't promised, even though it's a blessing? It is so weird for me, the dichotomies in my brain and in life, to all of us, that these extremes, that we will go to things as like smoking a cigarette, even though it'll kill us, just for some kind of immediate relief. Anything but to feel the way that we are feeling. And that's a tough sport, because you're going to feel the way that you feel, and it's going to give you different sensations. As a sensation addiction, all of us are trying to find some sensation. The feeling of cold water on a hot day. the feeling of touching someone else's skin and they loving you back. These feelings are heightened, just like drugs. It makes you feel like you're alive again. And sure, you can get it on the top of Mount Everest. I'm sure you can get it holding hands. I see a lot of that here. But it's something that if you don't have a hand to hold and you're not on top of the mountain, where are you going to get it from? And that's why I had to talk about it this morning, because it was like, I know why we do drugs. I knew exactly why I wanted to drink. I didn't want to feel what I was feeling. My eyes, ow, ow, ow. My eye just had huge pains from squeezing tears. Have you ever had that feeling, like when you eat something really sweet and there's that pain because your gland's squeezing real quick? That's what my eyes just did. The eye ducts, the teardroppers started to squeeze. And that pain, the pain I feel. When everything else is cool around me, I go to this place in my brain where I'm missing something. Something's gone tragically wrong. And trauma has me involved. I would love to say that my life was perfect. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you love to say that you still loved your parents and they loved you? Or that they were still married and that they never got divorced? Or that your grandparents are still alive and they're there aiding you, talking to you, helping you in your situations? That your friends never abandoned you or keep calling you and stop posting on social media but start calling you? That would be nice. That would be awesome. That a girl that you like calls you back and says that she's interested, or smiles, or love starts. That's not what happens. We pour our time into addictive substances like social media, or let's say substances like alcohol or powders or liquids, liquids, powders, and what else is there? Psychedelics. They were saying that the psychedelics breaks up that rumination, that it stops that cycle of us telling ourselves all the things that went wrong, or all the things that should have happened, or the pain that we feel inside. If you want to numb it, it's out there. My buddy's going to the dentist right now. They're going to give him morphine. And he kind of smiled. He's like, morphine. And it was just like, I've heard that before. I've heard that doing heroin is like someone hugging you for a long time. And that's a golden feeling. The feel that everything's all right. Now, you might be breaking into houses. You might be losing your teeth. And you might look disheveled. But inside you feel all right. And if we always just felt all right, if we always felt like we were winning, if we always had happiness, we wouldn't have addiction. We wouldn't have these feelings that we have to chase or hide or cover up something that's inside. One of my favorite Kanye West lyrics was that things we buy to cover up what's inside. We do it all the time. We'll do it Amazon style. They love it. They'll capture you. Oh, you're lonely? Guess what? You need an egg holder for $29.99 and it'll be all right. Well, at least someone sent a package, right? At least someone gave a thumbs up. But what if they gave a thumbs up if your grandma died? Each one of us has a grandma that's died or will die. Or a grandpa. My grandpa died. And to see the loss of life when some people can continue on. I was talking to my buddy, Ari, and he lost his wife, and some lady at the country club, pardon my burps, said, Ari, it's going to be all right. I've been widowed for 12 years. Things get better. You know? How long has it been? He asked me. How long has it been since the abortion? I said, 2 years. I said, but I'm still inside of my mind. I'm still raising this kid. I know how old he is. I know his name. I think he's walking and talking right now. Like I'm going through the phases of an existence that doesn't exist. So yeah, for most people, if that's your shtick, if you can have your parents together, just like that race you've probably seen on social media where all the kids lined up and they asked them to do a race and everybody thought it was a sprinting race. But they said, take 5 steps forward if your parents are still married. Take another 5 steps forward if you've never had your phone turned off. Take another 5 steps forward. Is in life. When you're in life, and I look around here, by the way, this is my buddy's minimalist life. He works his ass off 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. He's doing the six. What did they say? Is it 6 6? No, 6 6 9. Is it 6 6 12? There's a rule in Asia where they're like, where they work. I'm trying to figure it out, the numbers, because they work 6 days a week, 9 hour days, 12 hour days, 6 6 12, 6 days a week. What was it, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 666 kind of thing, and then 6 days a week, and they're killing themselves. Literally in South Korea, they're killing themselves. They're working themselves so fucking hard that you kind of negate the other things. Like the girl was saying, you know, these people that have trust in a sexual relationship, they make it a priority before the kids, before the recitals, before anything else. They make trust a priority, and I have a tough time with trust. And they also make sex a priority because they know how important it is to touch each other and maintain this best friend relationship. I thought I found my best friend. I thought I found my twin flame. And what did I do? I pushed it away. I scared her. I am the, what's the new Oppenheimer movie? He said, I am the destroyer of worlds. And I destroyed my own world so many times, you know. People still talk about my South Korean prison sentence. I thought that'd be the worst thing that ever happened to me. I thought that homelessness would be the worst thing that ever happened to me. You know, losing a healthy child, not from a miscarriage, but because I was yelling at my pregnant girlfriend. Because I had scared her into doing something scary. And now it can't be undone. Time has passed. I thought this kid would have a mole like me. And as my journey keeps going down this path, like I was telling my buddy Ari, like we can't believe, he said, I never saw this coming. After 50 years of knowing someone, that they would leave this earth before her grandmother, who's 91, her only child, is tough. And that they're about to have a grandchild, that's even tougher. And it drives you to want to drink. I know why people go there. You know, we like to judge. Oh, you're an addict. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you couldn't handle what they've been through. It's the truth. I couldn't handle the truth. The truth will set you free, but it'll also punish you. It'll hurt you. They say the truth hurts, and there it is. It really sucks to find out that you don't have love. That to find out that someone you loved is lost. To find out that pain exists, that it's really real up in this field. I'd love to say I faked the funk on a nasty dunk. I'd love to just put a smile on and turn the frown upside down and pretend, right? And that can only go so far. Working out can only go so far. Drinking can only go so far. But we'll practice these every day. My buddies had to work the next day, but they're pounding the beers. You know, we pound the fears. We make it worse in our minds, and we look for alleviation every time. And it's really not out there. There's not really anything that is sustainable for us to bring back the dead. And we've been doing that for a long time. We've built pyramids to help this transition, this crazy thing where we're like, it's such a blessing to be alive, and it's so horrible to die. And the cycle of psychobabble bullshit or mantras or tantras or whatever philosophies, Eastern or Western, to say we could go to God or pray to a Shiva or right now when they sing every day in Muslim culture 5 times a day to Allah. We'll look for anything. We'll cover ourselves in hijabs. We'll practice our sobriety. We'll do workouts in nature. That seems to be the best thing that I found, because I'm trying to share it here on the show. It's about the morning motivation. But even after I've worked out, I climbed the hill yesterday. We went up into nature. I had a beautiful sunset and hanging out with friends. It's still in me. The loss, the L's, the losses, the things I didn't do right, the girl I didn't treat right, the time I missed an opportunity to be with a beautiful woman, the time that I missed an opportunity to have a child, the time that I missed opportunity in my business. It fucks with me. It's fucking playing the same fucking disc every day. And I look for music. I look for different discs to play. I look for escape. I try to travel, as if I'm going to run away. Well, going to fire the same way. It's unfortunate, this chemicals that are sending it's not reality, bro. Well, the chemicals that are pumping through my brain are making it feel a lot realer than we think it is. Maybe it's the Matrix. Maybe it's this existence. Each person's existence. And each one of us are going to exist and not exist. We're going to experience something existing and now not existing. The deceased will live on in our memories, but it'll be a part of our living story as well. That my great aunt isn't around anymore, my grandpa isn't around anymore, my child's not around anymore. I am the destroyer of worlds. Just like Oppenheimer said, I have destroyed my own world, created my own world, and at the same time, I am a god in my own world, and I'm a fickle god. I'm a god that has mistakes written all over it. I cheat, I steal, I lie. I'm a Greek god. They were more real than this fake Jesus shit. They used gods in our own likeness, where the Egyptians used jackals or falcons or something to that effect, right? For the first time, when we had the Renaissance period, we decided to stop lying to ourselves through religion and started to believe in science. It went from alchemy to science, to actual real hypothesis with conclusion, and it started to make sense. But there's realms that we can't explain. We can't explain the way that we feel. We just feel it. And no wonder why women do it. They don't even know the decisions they're making. Why are you sleeping with that guy? I don't know. I just feel it. Did you make a decision? I don't know if he was a bad boy. I don't know if he abused his ex-girlfriend. I don't know any of that shit. I just slept with him. You're making decisions off of emotions. 80% of our decisions are off of our emotions. So if you're drinking or doing drugs, guess what? It's emotions. And we'd like to think, and I was seeing one girl drinking, I'm like, she was walking down the street pounding a Carlsberg, and I was like, wow, I bet your mom likes beer too. Just in my head, just real quick. It wasn't a judgment or anything like that. It was just like that reflection of how we cope and how we've learned to be like our parents, how we learned as humans to alleviate pain. What do they call that when you're going into a surgery, when you're anesthesiologist? There's professionals to actually stop pain from happening in the human brain and body. And yet it's the same system that heals us and saves us from more pain. It's the pain you get in your hand when you touch the hot stove, but it could be worse if you kept your hand on the stove. It saves us and it hurts us at the same motherfucking time. This is my plan and my journey with Saints Addiction, was this dichotomy of wins and losses. That I'm not always this super duper winner that gets to travel the world and have all these friends. I'm grateful I have my friends. My friend says, stop thanking me because you might get kicked out of the house. But I mean, he lives in basic, not squalor, but basic. He only has so much furniture, and I bet it's not his. He only has a couple books and notebooks, and he works his ass off every day. And I've been gone for 13 years, and he lives this way. In Winnie the Pooh sheets, and Burns, and a little couple bits of change up there. Yet I come from America where people are rolling around in Rolls Royces and Versace, and you'd like to think, what's the girl says? Oh, then my kids can cry in their Ferrari. No, your kids aren't going to cry in a Ferrari, stupid bitch. That's not what's going to happen. They're probably going to kill themselves. It's so weird for us to think money's going to save us. And my friend was like, I just need 30 grand just to alleviate my pain. And I was like, that's not what's going to cure your alcoholism. It's not what's going to happen. And what's really weird is that's something that I've seen happen before, because the guy, what was the story, like all the Megabucks winners, in Las Vegas. There's, megabucks. We have megabucks in Las Vegas, and the guy had won, but his daughter developed a meth habit and ended up dying. Could you imagine having this ultimate feeling of thinking that you're actually free and freedom from money slavery? But what it ended up happening is, guess what? Your daughter ends up dying. Something else ends up getting lost. Something else worth more than money is now not available. And that's what you start feeling. What's not available. So we can buy as many beers as we want. We can go sneak as many lines as we can. We can fucking even inject things. But there's still pain. And that's why we do drugs. I figured it out. Last night I was sitting there and I was just like, I had so much lonely and so much hurt and so much sadness in me that I was willing to risk my sobriety to escape. And there I was walking back and forth, and I'm like, no, man, just go get something to eat. That brings you a little bit of happiness. Maybe even break your diet a little bit and get a little sugar dish, something to get a boost in my brain so it would fire different things. It kind of worked. I did eat, but it's not enough. I do have friends, but it's not enough. I do play on my phone. It's never enough. It's never enough. And in life, that's the rub of it, is that we were born into this amazing planet. And then we saw Jupiter last night. It was so bright, that it's so big and bright, but it's so far away that it still shows in the night. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the stars in the blackness. I'm not looking for the escape. I'm looking for the light. I'm looking for something that actually suffice me, something that will work for longevity and towards my sustainability. I'm looking for something that's not going to leave me, not going to kill my child, and not going to kill me. And unfortunately, cigarettes are going to kill you. Alcohol is going to kill you. Loneliness will fucking kill you. And the only way to escape it, I don't have the answer. If I had the answer, humans would stop drinking beer a long time ago, 5,000 years ago, but it's not. We would have given up tobacco, but it's a plant. It's still there, just like marijuana, just like weed. We are looking all over this earth. Trust and believe. We would eat more tomatoes if they gave us a boost in our matter, as long as it works. And that's what I'm looking for in Saint Addiction. I'm looking to get to things that work. Not escapes, not hidden, not no cover-ups. I'm not looking to fake it. I'm looking to make it. And that's this morning's motivation. For us to make it in our lives, in our brains, in our souls, in our feelings, is the most important thing to do. To get some kind of alleviation or healing is all we can do. So yeah, I wish I could have told you, yeah, just switch to this. Start eating more limes. Yeah, sure, but that's not it. It's going to take more than nature. It's going to take more than workouts. It's going to take more than psychologists. It's going to take a healthy flyover, a healthy burn, the loud noise and rupture of our lives to shake us out of our stupor. And unfortunately, I don't want to die. I don't want to be docile. I don't want to stop feeling. I just don't want to feel the way that I'm feeling now. And that is the name of the game. That's Saint's Addiction. That's where it all stems from. And I had to actually figure out why we do drugs, and now I know. So it's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you're weak or anything else like that. Come on, planes flying over. Tell them the truth. Because even things that go up must come down. And usually when we're on our come down, it's a crash. I hope that there's someone that loves you enough to put your pieces together. I hope that you mend the cracks and the wounds. I hope that you find something that, with another third jet flying over at the end of the show, it's time to move on. And I must go into myself, intimacy, into me I see. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, comment below, not only just to break the algorithm, but to share the information with other people. What have you done to heal yourself and to alleviate the pains of life that we all experience. It's a human experience. Peace and love. I'll see you on the other side. Ciao.